Anyway, so that's how I found out that my neighbor named her car the Sexy Devil.
And welcome to Geeks and Gaijins. I am the Gaijin John.
I'm the Geek Tom.
You do realise I'm leaving that first part in the podcast, yeah, Thomas?
Oh, okay. Carry on.
We, of course, the podcast that looks at everything from the east to the west. I'm sitting here in the east in sunny, well, it's still quite cold Japan.
I'm in England. Hello.
Sunny, not sunny England. How does it feel?
It's fine for today. It's not being too miserable.
As of the time of recording, we are going to break through that misery. For coming soon is the day of love.
Soon.
Valentine!
It approaches.
First bit of Japanese news. You don't celebrate Valentine's Day by saying Happy Valentine's Day. Sorry, I got that wrong. It's, I know, a first for me on this podcast. Valentine Day. Valentine Day. Japanese doesn't have a V, so it has serious problems.
Yes.
V becomes B in a lot of things, which makes some stuff extremely hilarious. It's like R and L in Japanese, because R and L are essentially the same letter, which you end up with lots of Japanese children saying, I like lice. So, Valentine Day. Well, it is Valentine's Day in about a week after recording.
A week and some change, yeah.
And so I thought I'd research, because obviously it hasn't happened yet. I don't actually know what happens, so I'm getting everything secondhand, and by walking through the shops being slightly confused.
Yes.
Thank you, Wikipedia. What do you know, Thomas, about Valentine's Day in Japan? Because it's actually quite different.
I know, like, a couple of things, but only some things, again, like, not even just secondhand, like third or fourth hand. Just like watching anime and stuff. So obviously there's still the tradition of giving chocolates on Valentine's Day.
Yum, yum, yum.
But that's about it for the day itself. I don't know if there's any significant differences.
No, chocolate is very important. Also, I will establish that chocolate in Japanese is chokodat. So this is not going to be that confusing. But I will be teaching you some fun Japanese terms that you can throw at people and then ask them why they're being so baka.
Just calm down the weeb like 5% and we'll be good.
That's the whole point of this podcast, Thomas. I should be...
You're right. You're right. Okay, carry on.
Okay, so if you think Valentine's Day or St. Valentine's, why is it in Japan, a not very Christian country? Well, Buddhist Shinto country. I have one word reason for you, Thomas.
Is it marketing?
It's capitalism. Woo!
Tomato.
Yeah, or America. You can kind of do it like interchangeably at this point. Essentially, department stores in the 1950s were like, we want to make money. And how about we use this Western holiday to make money? Because Japanese don't care. We using it to make money, essentially.
Respect it. Respect the grind.
The thing was, they made it slightly different than here in the West, where it's supposed to be, I don't know. The original Saint Valentine was someone who was burned to death as a martyr in Northern Africa. So I don't know what that has to do with Cupids and stuff like that. But essentially, the whole idea of Valentine's Day for the last 60 or so years in Japan is that women give stuff to men, mostly chocolate. And that is the thing. That's the whole day. There's not really a huge amount. There's like some kind of, depending on the individual, maybe go out, have a nice meal or whatever. But the meaning is in the chocolate. The beef is in the chocolate. There is no beef in this chocolate. But the meat of the thing is chocolate related.
I also hope there's no meat in that chocolate. That doesn't sound particularly appetizing.
Unless you're like South American, and then apparently it's really nice. Or they have like chocolate and chili together, don't they?
I think that's slightly different, but carry on.
Welcome to our sequel podcast where Thomas goes to teach English in Peru.
Hey, you brought up food. Obviously, I got distracted. Come on.
Exactly. There is not just one type of chocolate, because this is Japan, and therefore we must have ranked tiers of chocolate. There is no kind of social class-based society that cannot somehow imprint that onto chocolate. So first of all, Thomas, you got your lowest of the low. You've got your Giri Choco.
Giri Choco, you say?
Indeed. Giri Choco is stuff that you just give to everyone. It literally translates to obligation chocolates. This is the chocolate that you give to your family, to your friends. It's like if you want to get a gift for someone like in your group of friends when you go away somewhere, but you're like, oh, but then this person will feel left out, this person will feel left out. So obligation chocolates, basically you get this, you give it to everyone. You give it to co-workers, you give it to whatever. Everyone gets chocolates. It does not matter if there is any kind of romantic. Actually, specifically, Giri chocolate is not romantic. This is just stuff you buy off the shelf. Give it to them. Here's your obligation chocolate. Stop bothering me. I don't like you like that, Nathan. Sorry.
Yeah. That's a nice little category you've got sorted there.
Indeed. These are very common. These are stuff you buy off the shelf. Boom. Then we've got the top tier of chocolate. We got top tier, which is honmei chocolate, or honmei choco, which is true feeling choco in Japanese. This is the lovey, super dovey stuff. These are for your romantic partner. You either get really, really expensive chocolates, like the really fancy ones, or you like home make them yourself. Well, like home decorate them yourself. Like the entire stores at the moment, there's like a seasonal area in the main supermarket I go to, and now it's just filled with like decorate your own chocolates and cookies and stuff right now. Because this is the reason. Because it's for ladies to make the special person they fancy something for Valentine's Day. But yeah. Nice. Oh, and there's the kind of side tier. There's side tier. So you got obligation chocolates and you got true feeling chocolates. To the side you have Tomo Choco. What do you think Tomo Choco is for, Thomas?
Is it chocolate for me?
It would be, because Tomo Choco is chocolate for people you give your friends.
Ah.
Basically, it's popular for women to give chocolate to their female friends. Well, Tomo Choco is not for you, because it's for women to give other women. You would get Giri chocolate. You get Tomo Choco Tomo is of course short for Tomodachi, which means friend. So it's literally like buddy chocolate. So you get friend chocolate.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I thought it was quite nice. But this is all feeling very, very like sexist. Like apparently everything is very focused on the woman, and a lot of it, especially for the man, like I read some things online, obviously I've not experienced it, of like if a man gets offered several true feeling chocolates, that he should only accept the one that he truly has feelings for. Because then this just becomes some anime harem stuff, and then apparently some men will just take all the true feeling chocolate, which surely means they deserve no true feeling chocolate at all.
Doesn't matter, got chocolate.
Exactly.
If someone's going to offer me chocolate, I'm not going to think twice about it. I'm going, oh, thank you for the chocolate, ma'am.
But that's their true feeling chocolate. You got to think about what the chocolate represents, Thomas.
And I bet it's delicious.
Your pain feeds me.
Okay, that's a little harsh, I guess. I'll back up.
No, you've literally just established that if multiple Japanese girls pour out their heart to you, you will eat their tears. Yeah.
Somehow, I don't feel like that's a scenario that was ever going to come up in the first place.
I
it
know,
definitely won't now.
But you ate these imaginary girls' true feelings with disdain.
Not disdain. I really enjoyed the chocolate. Clearly.
Oh dear.
You're getting my messages all mixed up here, John.
Now, girls do not despair, because Valentine's Day, it appears for some reason in Japan, is for the men because, as we have established, capitalism. However, Valentine's Day has a sequel, Thomas.
Valentine's Day 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Indeed, it got rebooted by the Japanese and only released in East Asia. That's mostly true.
That does sound like a Japanese thing to do, yes.
Indeed. In 1978 in Japan, this is true, like, I make a joke of capitalism, but seriously, in 1978 in Japan, the National Confectionery Industry Association, as an answer day to Valentine's Day, started White Day, or it started as Marshmallow Day, which sounds much better, by a company called Ishimura Mansedo, marketing marshmallows to men. This is on March 14th, so a month later, we got White Day. You had Valentine's Day, you now got White Day, which of course, because this is Japan, is not like Shiro Day. Shiro meaning white. It is the Japanese katakana for white, being Whito Day. Whito Day.
Okay.
Now, the important thing is here, well, we should be concerned about this, Thomas, but it's important for the ladies here, is there's a phrasing called Sanbai Geishi. Okay, in this frame, it means triple the return, which is the direct translation. So basically, it means that if you have gotten stuff as a gift from a lady, it is then the man's job the next month to give them triple the amount or triple the value of the woman's original gift. So Valentine's Day here is treated as a month's investment.
Hey, 3 times is a pretty good investment rate for 1 month.
I would not. Anything that gives me 3 times investment, I am not shaking on that. So it started with just white chocolate or marshmallows, starting with Marshmallow Day, which then became White Day. Now men give all kind of chocolates as well as edible and non-edible gifts. It's become less chocolatey apparently recently because they're like, Valentine's Day is chocolate. Now buy something more expensive, you cheap person. Let's keep family friendly. So it's like jewelry, white clothing, including lingerie, and like generally stuff, just flowers, whatever. I would not give lingerie in response to your obligation chocolates. That seems like a call for sexual harassment.
And it's also probably like really cheap lingerie at that point, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's like triple. It's like, how did you get this that cheap?
What else goes on White Day, John?
That's mostly it. It has kind of spread to other East Asian countries, so China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Vietnam. Essentially, it started in Japan. It's a Japanese export holiday to essentially East Asia. So places that do celebrate it, kind of Taiwan, South Korea, Vietnam, Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, and China. If you're from those countries and this doesn't happen, please say so, because I've no idea. I blame Wikipedia, not me.
A weird chain of events there, isn't it? So imagine if you're Hong Kong and you're selling a holiday based on a Japanese holiday, which isn't part of Japanese tradition. It is in fact a construct made by a company to make more money off of Valentine's Day, which is imported from America, which was imported from Europe, which is based on a really old dead dude. And it's just
from North Africa.
It's like, yeah, it's not just Chinese whispers at that point. It is full on Japanese whispers.
It's Japanese. It's shouting incoherently in Japanese.
Well, I guess I shouldn't extrapolate holidays too much, otherwise things get really weird.
No, I'm not looking forward to trying to explain Golden Week, because I've tried to ask Japanese people about what it is and I just get shrugs. So
what time of year is Golden Week?
It's about, you can look forward to that episode in about 2 or 3 months, guys. Actually, it's May. It's May time.
You've got time to research it then.
Yeah, I'm still not going to work it out. Speaking of other East Asian countries, Thomas, there's a country very close to Japan.
Surely not.
There's the one I'm actually closest to right now. I'm actually closer to this country than I am to Tokyo.
Wow, that is cool.
Do you want to check? Do you want to ask what this country is?
What is this country, John?
I don't know. You tell me.
Why did you ask me to ask you that?
Because I'm feeling panickety.
This is so confusing. All right. Is it South Korea, John?
It is indeed South Korea, or as the Japanese call it, just Korea, or Kankoku, which literally means something country. Koku just means country. The thing is, like, the Japanese have a real love-hate relationship with the Koreans, and so do Korean people as well, with Japan. Though all the Korean people I've met here are extremely nice, and all the Japanese people I've met here are all extremely nice towards Korean people, mostly because we actually live vaguely close to Korea.
That would make sense.
But the thing is, like BTS and all the stuff, especially the young generation, people love Korean stuff, and that started to include Korean food. So people love like Korean barbecue, Korean flavored stuff. And what I got, I will send a picture to Thomas now. Has Thomas got the pictures?
Neato. It looks like it's a charred slab of something. Oh no, it looks like what on earth? Okay. So the first picture looks like just a charred slab of something indistinguishable, and then this plate of food you've got in front of you looks a lot like stretched out sweet wrappers.
Yeah, pretty much. Have you ever heard, Thomas, of something called nori?
You know I haven't, John.
Nori is Japanese for seaweed. It is the green stuff that wraps sushi. Like if you've ever seen like a California roll or something, nori is the dark green stuff that's wrapped around it. It's apparently very good for you. Now also because nori you eat it in seafood, some people just eat it as like snacks, and this is kind of like this has been flavored in Korean style flavoring according to the thing. It had Korean characters on the outside. Well, I'm pretty sure it did. Yes, it did. So I don't have any sauce to have it with. The picture depicts sauce, but it's essentially like it's green squares of seaweed, which I assume some kind of salty or something flavoring on it. No, nori, I will say I did know someone at university. It's one of my best friends at university. One of his favorite snacks to do was just nori, like sushi level nori, with some Japanese mayonnaise poured on it. And I will admit, it's actually that's a really good legit snack and horribly bad for you. But here we go with boiled sweet wrappers Korean style. Itadakimasu. Well, first it sticks to the top of your mouth.
Oh no.
It's actually quite, I will say, quite tasty. The seasoning is not very strong.
Is it sort of salty or sweet?
No, it's salty. It's definitely salty. It's very difficult to eat because it gets stuck. This is one of the reasons it's so good for Japanese rice, because Japanese rice is inherently slightly sticky. So seaweed works very well holding that as something you can hold, because the seaweed sticks to the rice and won't come off and creates like a little handle. No, it's kind of there's a slightly fishy flavor, but these have also been, because obviously it's seaweed. But no, these are actually really quite, like the seasoning's really quite nice. I got loads of these for the 300 yen. I got about 8 packs of what Thomas can see, and that you might eventually see on our Instagram that I've yet to set up. It's Schrodinger's Instagram. It both exists and does not exist, depending on when you listen to this podcast.
It doesn't exist at all.
It doesn't. No, it won't. But no, here we are. That's Korean style Japanese seaweed. It's very strange. It's almost translucent. You can look through it. Well, you can look through parts of it at least. Thomas, you do not sound enthused.
I mean, I would be interested to give it a try because it does look like it's probably just like a regular old crisp, but seaweed.
It's kind of crunchy and then it becomes chewy as it gets moisture.
Sadly, it combines sort of like a very dark green with a very deep black color, and neither of them look really particularly appetizing for food. So
it's just seaweed. They're very popular. What I'll do, Thomas, is when I have to get you, you can get little stamps for putting on kids' kids' lunchboxes. Basically, what you do is you stamp out some little designs on the nori, and then you add it to the bits of rice in your kid's lunchbox. So you can like clip out like little smiley faces of seaweed.
Oh,
and just put it on like the rice. I'm actually going to eat that, which I'm glad because I bought a lot of that. That seems to be. It seems like just quite nice, salty. I hope low calorie because it's seaweed.
Better check that real quick.
I could, but I'm not getting out my chair because I'm a lazy man.
Fair enough.
And also that would disturb the microphone, and That is in terms more lazy. But no, that is Korean style seaweed, and I can't read Korean, so I can't label what it says. Label? I can't say what it says. I can't even see what it says DC. Help me, Google Translate.
You're my only hope.
Seriously, this is how I survive here and know what food is. Seriously, like, Google Translate's picture app is some magic stuff from the future.
Oh, neat.
Well, it does say crispy seaweed, but it says here hat crispy seaweed. I don't think it's hat crispy seaweed. Okay, the future has still time to learn. Yep, hat crispy seaweed. There we go. It's delicious hat crispy seaweed.
Nice.
And now, Thomas, we've approached the even. Now, the thing is, you complain that I'm a weeb, and now we approach anime section galores.
Oh dear.
Don't worry, I'll try and keep him down, listeners. How long have we been recording this half-an-hour podcast that's never half an hour? We've been recording for 20-something minutes. I say 20-something because I don't want to know how much of the rubbish that me and Thomas talk about have I edited out by the time it reaches you.
All right, so for a quick lightning round anime review for this week, I've finished No Guns Life.
Woo! No Guns Life!
Both John and I were looking forward to this show at the beginning of 2 seasons ago.
I can't even remember. The whole concept is a guy has a gun for a head. Welcome to Cyberpunk. The guy has a gun for a head.
Yes. John got into it early and was watching it week by week. He I believe you stopped about halfway through because you were busy.
Yeah, welcome to life in Japan, where I'm so busy I can't watch anime because my every day is my everyday is a quite enjoyable job, but it's not anime because real life isn't stories, kids. It's the friends we make along the way. Sorry, I got distracted. What were you talking about?
I was talking about a man with a gun for a head, John.
Oh yeah, keep on going.
Yeah, so I eventually got around to watching it. I've watched all 12 episodes of what is supposed to be like both a individual season and the first half of 2 seasons. It's kind of confusing, but apparently also not really.
Welcome to Japan.
Yeah, if you look at it as like one long series, but with just a 1 season break in the middle, it probably won't be too much of an issue. But we are going to have to wait another couple months for the second half to come out. So I might as well give my opinions on the first half now whilst it's fresh.
What do you think?
All right. Well, if you're new to the podcast and haven't heard John talk about it before, basically, No Guns Life is a show set in a scientific future where everyone, a large portion of the population has had parts of their body replaced with robotic parts. They're basically cyborgs, but they're referred to as the enhanced in this show, and we follow the main character,
Inwe Juzo.
Yeah, who's something of like a private eye peacekeeper type dealio.
He's the main character in every cyberpunk thing ever.
He even wears a trench coat and smokes cigarettes.
Exactly. So, he doesn't even smoke cigarettes because he wants to. He smokes them because he likes the taste.
Well, technically they're medicinal or something.
I don't think we're allowed to talk about those kinds of cigarettes.
It's a very weird situation, but the whole show's kind of weird in that way. Anyway, Inui Juzo is a man with a gun for a head, and that's probably what's going to get you straight into this show to begin with, because that's the sort of ridiculous sci-fi nonsense that this show is going to advertise on.
On the end of the first episode, he punches a train.
He punches a train and knocks it clean off the rails. Luckily, not apparently killing anyone inside, but still.
Not like a side punch either. The train is coming directly at him full speed, and he punches it.
So yeah, you've got that going for you. You've also got the classic cyberpunk tale of a rogue corporation with way too much power.
Oh, there's an evil mega corporation. Is it called Schmuckdonald's?
No, it's Beruen or something like that.
I did actually look that up. It has evil German-sounding name that isn't actually German. Like it's called Boyren or Bird, and it's just like, this is what a Japanese person thinks German is.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the corporation that sells people all the robot parts they need to survive and repair them and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with this monopoly at all.
Yeah, literally the only other place you can get robot parts, cyborg parts in this show is from black market dealers. And surprisingly, the cheap stuff you get in the black market isn't all that reliable and is likely to kill you. So
I'm shocked.
life sucks for most of the people in this show.
Welcome to
Understandably.
Cyberpunk.
Yep. High technology, low life, etc., etc.
Woo. Cyberpunk 2077 has also been delayed. So
different topic for a different day.
yay, video games. Yeah, and so if you have ever played video games, this is the Deus Ex series. It feels like exactly the same story.
Yeah, that is one of the things that sticks out of this show is that I didn't see it do anything particularly special with the whole cyborgs and cyberpunk evil mega corporation story. It did seem a little familiar to the whole genre, but at the same time, it's one of the only sci-fi cyberpunk shows that was coming out this year. So it's nice to have, even if it's a little bit vanilla in all regards.
It is very, if you're like on the edge of whether you want to watch it, it's the kind of thing that it doesn't do anything like super outstandingly, but it does what it does extremely well. Yeah. And so if you don't really like it after the first episode, I don't think it will change your mind. But if you do, you're like, oh, this seems kind of cool. If you keep watching, I think, especially up to about episode 6, episode 7, it was definitely kind of like, oh yeah, I'm getting behind this. Like, I'm liking the characters. They're doing some interesting stuff in the universe. It's not that interesting, but it's like standard. Well, it's just standard cyberpunk stuff. And because I've watched and read way too much cyberpunk things, I'm like, okay, cool. And and then the evil mega corporation will and then this will happen, and that's fine. I'm just coming along to see when the guy with a gun for a head will punch more things. But does that kind of follow for the next 6 episodes of the series, Thomas?
It does continue to be about a man with a gun for head getting into fights and taking on corrupt individuals and saving the day. Yeah. It's a show that tries to balance a number of tones. It's obviously got this classic capitalist nightmare going on around the characters, and it's pretty terrible. But at the same time, it tries to be quite light-hearted and at times with a little bit of like very dry humor and sometimes some slapstick thrown in. Just
imagine Judge Dredd crossed with Midsummer Murders.
Yep.
That's actually surprisingly fitting. I just came up just like, nope, yep.
And it's got some action going for it as well.
There are some very confused American listeners right now, just like, I've vaguely heard of Judge Dredd. What is this Midsummer Murders? That sounds like the darkest show imaginable. I will say the streets of Midsummer have been proven statistically to be more dangerous than the slums of Rio de Janeiro.
You're just going to leave us hanging on that fact.
No, there is an actual statistic of, because the TV show Midsummer Murders, which happens in the fictional county of Midsummer, like the amount of murders they counted, essentially like the murder rate in Midsummer would be higher than that of basically the murder capital of the world.
Fair enough.
Because I think they state the population of the county at one point in one of the episodes, and it has like...
Who keeps moving into this town?
Oh yeah, it's also quite well known for being massively exclusionary to any ethnic minorities. Like, there's almost no black characters in the entire... Like, series 15... Asian actors played central characters on the show for first time. Series 15. That was in 2012. I'm just going to get angry at Midsummer Murders. Welcome to Old Man Rambles at Cloud, the podcast.
Just screaming into the void about how irritating this one British TV show is. I'm hoping the void will answer. You're right, dude. That is up.
That really is messed up. I also might have to beep you out there just because.
Oh, are we including the Midsummer Murders rant into the show?
Yes.
Hold on. I'm trying to talk about my Cyberpunk anime here, John. Why are we talking about how racist our TV shows are here?
Because we're comparing the East and the West, Thomas.
This is so far beyond derailing. Like, Even Inui Juzo didn't derail a train so hard when he punched it.
Oh,
Like, come on.
oh.
Oh, dear.
And so Inoue Juzo has murdered Midsummer Murders.
Yeah. Anyway, show's fun. It's doesn't do anything particularly outstanding in any particular department. It's a bit of a jack of all trades in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Action is fine. Humor can be a little. I mean, none of it made me actually laugh, but it was a nice bit of levity. I think the general concept is pretty solid. It's got a good foundation. But if you're going into a show going, oh my goodness, this man's got a gun for a head, I can't wait for what wacky hijinks ensue. The wacky hijinks are kind of subdued.
Yeah, I never really expected like wacky hijinks. It's more the kind of, it's less anime wacky hijinks of there's a girl in her underwear hitting God in the face. It's more like there's a guy for a gun with a head. He's trying to buy some groceries, and also racism.
Yeah, the whole gun for a head thing becomes less of a sort of odd hyperbolic parody of the genre and more of just a very overt metaphor.
Yeah,
instead.
It's both racism and veterans, essentially, and mental health.
And a general criticism of privatized healthcare in general.
Oh, what? A cyberpunk setting criticizing privatized healthcare? I'm shocked. It's almost as if it's criticizing racism as much as Midsummer Murders should be. Oh! Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only issue I really had with the show was I wasn't particularly on board with the female character designs in general. Like the guys get all these really cool robots, and then we have two different female characters just dressed up in bikinis for some reason.
Oh god.
And I would guess I wouldn't have too much of an issue with that because that sort of hypersexualization can become quite common in cyberpunk, just as a general aesthetic. But I think that combined with some of the camera angles really did show it was there just for fan service, and it was just kind of. Also, this is a show that somehow realizes, we can't fit a beach episode into this series anywhere because we're in the middle of a city. But what about if we just fling that fan service into the OP instead?
Yeah, I did wonder why that was in the OP.
It's just weird.
And on that weirdness, on the interest of who knows how long this episode will be, listeners.
It depends how long John actually ranted about Midsummer Murders for no reason, John.
It was not no reason. It was a criticism of the racism inherent in society that is revealed by a man with a gun for a head punching trains. Also, tune in next week for more about Japanese Valentine's Day.
Yes.
If you somehow survive.
I try and promise what we're trying to do next week, but honestly, we have no idea because I can't keep John on a leash, apparently. He just won't.
I am free. Dobby is a free elf. I love that we've been Geeks and Gaijins.
Don't accept any socks on Valentine's Day, kids.
No, don't. Only accept those homemade chocolates. Don't take those obligation or just be Thomas and eat all their true feeling chocolates away.
Your true feelings are inside me now. The quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach, ladies.
Or through the second and third rib bone.
That might actually be more relevant information if I eat all that chocolate.
Exactly. We are on all the social medias at Geeks and Gaijins or G&G podcast or generally stuff like that. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes. Please review us. Please just follow us. We do sometimes do competent episodes. Whether this is one, we'll let you find out. We do also, if you want more of this, we do stream on Twitch occasionally. Mostly it's been weekends, but it mostly depends on mine and Thomas's schedule. We do announce on the Facebook page before we do that, so please like us there. We've been playing through Final Fantasy 3 and getting our bum handed to us, and also been going through one of my favorite games of all time, which is Danganronpa, the Japanese murder mystery sim dating simmy thing with a murderous teddy bear voiced by moi.
Yep, we're doing all the voices for the characters, no matter how poorly we
and they will get better as the characters die. So keep on watching.
I'm looking forward to all the characters I can't voice surviving inexplicably, and all the ones I
Yay!
can voice dying.
Exactly. We're now down to 12 students already. So what's going to happen? Tune in next time. Oh dear. That's a matter issue.
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah. If you got this far, well done. Gold star for you.